what's up? I'm going to be working on something a little different today. Got a mailbox here I'm going to be painting for a customer of mine. It's just a standard metal mailbox, just like you would get at Walmart, Home Depot, anywhere like that. I've already gone over it, scuffed it down. I'm going to come back and put some sealer on it, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the paint job we're going to do. I've got my mailbox sanded. I went over it with a red 3M Scotch-Brite pad, which is equivalent to about a 400 grit sandpaper. I've already gone over the mailbox and I wiped it down with this PPG DX330 wax and grease remover. Make sure that there's not any fingerprints or oil or grease or anything like that on there. We've got a nice even flat coat of PPG DP50 sealer on my mailbox, and I'm getting ready to put the color on here. Now I could have chose pretty well any color to put on this mailbox. The customer that I'm doing it for said just to use my imagination. It just so happens that he's a snap-on tool dealer, and most of their colors are red and black and white, colors like that. So I looked around on my shelf back here for some scrap paint, or not scrap paint, but leftover paint from other jobs, and what I found was a Chrysler candy red 3-stage. And what a 3-stage is, you have your base, which is a red. You put that down first. That's your first stage. And then your mid coat is this. It's kind of a semi-transparent, but it has pearl in it. And you can see through this to see the red underneath it. And then you come back and add your clear coat, which is your final stage, which would be 3 steps, 3-stage. Now the mailbox that I'm doing, I'm going to do it in red and white. And I'm going to kind of customize it out a little bit, and we're going to put some flames on it. Got my red base coat mixed up in my gun. It's probably going to take about 3 coats to cover, and then I'm going to come back and put my red mid coat on. I'm not going to worry too much about covering the back part of this, because that's where my flames are going to stop, and this part will be white. Go ahead and put my first coat of base on. I've got 3 coats of my red base coat on my mailbox, and I'm getting ready to put the mid coat on it, which, as I said, is sort of semi-transparent, and it's going to give this red a real deep, rich look. Camera's going a little out of focus here, but I didn't worry about getting any on the back, because like I say, my flames are going to stop up in here, and this back half is going to be white. So now that I've got all the red on my mailbox, and I'm going to put a coat of DBC 500. This is like an Intercoat clear, and it'll seal everything off, where whenever I'm handling the mailbox, masking it up for my flames and everything, I won't get handprints and everything all over it. So I'll come back and put a coat of that on there, and then I'll mask it off and get it ready for the flames. I've got my mailbox masked off for my flames. I went over the red. I had put a couple of coats of DBC 500 Intercoat clear. I went over it and sanded it with 1000 grit paper to make sure there weren't any imperfections, and to give it a good base for the next color to stick to. I used painter's mask to cut out these flames and lay them on here. So what I'm going to do is come back, and I'm going to use a Lexus 3-stage white and put 2 or 3 coats of white, and then 2 or 3 coats of mid, just like I did with the red, and then I'll come back and peel this off and we'll get it ready to clear coat it. Got all the white on my mailbox and I got the flames unmasked. I put a coat of DVC 500 clear on it, Intercoat clear, to seal everything off, and I'm going to let it dry overnight and come back, make sure there's not any little imperfections that need to be sanded out, and then I'm going to put 3 to 4 coats of high solids clear coat on it. I don't know if you can tell with the camera, but this white is not just a plain white, it's a 3-stage. And I added some extra pearl in it. It gives it kind of a red tint, depending on how you look at it in the light. So, okay, here's my finished mailbox. Got the snap-on decals on it. Put about 4 coats of high solids PPG clear coat on it. Got the snap-on decal on the front. And I think it turned out very well. I think my buddy's gonna really be happy with this.